Hello and welcome to PS Science. My name is Mr. Richmond, and today we're going to be talking about plant propagation, which, many of you are familiar with the way that plants grow from seeds, right? I have some seeds here in front of me. We have some sunflower seeds, which I'm sure you're familiar with. These are some corn kernels, which I'm also sure you're familiar with. But there's another way that you can make plants. You can actually take a parent plant and take clippings or cuttings from that plant to make a new plant. You're basically cloning a plant, which is really cool. So we're not going to use the seeds today. What we're going to use for our demonstration is a common household plant. You might have some in your own house. If you don't, maybe look into getting some because they're very beautiful and they're just great to have around. They're called Pothos, and they look like this. They're really cool because they have these long vines that grow. And you can actually, if the vines grow too long, you can take a vine, cut it off, and then you can make cuttings to create new plants from. And so, to prepare for the video, I actually already cut off a vine from my plant, which is right here. And the process goes like this. Okay, so first all you're going to need are some scissors to do this, alright? Now, you pick your vine, and then you'll see on each vine there are leaves, and then at the end of these stems, this is what we call the eye, okay? And so when you cut these leaves off, each one of these leaves can create a new growth, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut on either side of this eye. So where this intersection is, you'll see these little nodes here, and these nodes are going to actually be where the roots grow out of. Okay, and so you want to make sure to include those. And so what we're going to do is cut on either side here, like so. So let's just go down the plant. We're going to cut on either side, and then if there's extra, you can just cut that off. But then you want to be left with almost like a little T shape here, where you have a little bit on each side, and these two openings will allow more water to go in for just this leaf. If I were to take this entire vine and I just put this in water, then the water is only going to be able to go through this one little spot, and it's not going to be able to give enough moisture to the rest of the plant. Okay, so we do it like this so that each cutting can get enough water to grow. So let's keep going down the line, and remember the extra I'm just going to cut off and we can brush aside. I'm going down each one. I hope you can see this. It's about a ½ inch on either side of the eye. Okay. This one's kind of cool. It almost like has a double leaf. Okay, so here I've got my cuttings. I will gather up. And then all these extra bits here you can just move to the side. You can throw them away. Okay, so now we've got this nice bit of new cuttings here, which the next step is you take these cuttings and you put them in water. Okay, so I have here this cup, which I've pre-filled with water, and you can just drop them inside, let them spread out. And it's important as the days go on, as they start to grow, that you replace the water maybe every other day, because while the water is important and light is important, the plants also need oxygen to grow. And when you fill it with new water, there's a lot of oxygen in that water. But after a couple of days, that oxygen will escape out, it will evaporate. So, it's important to change the water consistently throughout this. And so once you have your cuttings in a glass like this, you can pretty much just put them on a table. You don't want to put them outside because you want it to be relatively warm. You don't want it to get too below, like around 70 degrees for these to grow really well. And what's going to happen is after a few weeks, you'll see that they grow a bunch of new roots. And this cup, for example, would be almost full after a few weeks with roots, right? And once you have all these cuttings with roots in them, you can pick them back up you have all the roots hanging down, and then you would put them in an actual pot with soil, right? And then that will grow a new plant that could grow to be as big as this one that I showed you earlier. So that's the process of propagating plants or cloning plants. I encourage you to try this yourself at home. Have fun with it. It's cool because, you know, this plant, it has certain colors. You can see it's kind of green and has some white spots on it. And if I really like the way this plant looks, rather than take a chance and plant a seed which could turn into any kind of plant, I can take cuttings from a plant and create a new plant just like it. So have fun with it. Thank you for joining me today, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.
Okay, scientists, thanks for watching. Did you enjoy that lesson? Subscribe below to see more fun science videos. You can also become a member of PS Science on Patreon to support what we're doing. See you next time.